live this Sunday. As you would note, my topic is Israel and US. What next for Gaza? Okay. Welcome to all those who will come to watch this live show. It won't be long, it's a short live show. And my discussion would be on the release of the hostages. But one thing I want you to listen to is the U.S. Secretary of State visited Israel. Now, listen.
I've been here many times before as an American visiting, and then as a member of the United States Senate, but now for the first time as the Secretary of State of the United States. And it's an honor to be here. And it's an honor to serve in this role on behalf of President Donald Trump, who, as you've accurately stated, Mr. Prime Minister, is a tremendous friend of Israel. There's been no stronger ally for Israel in the White House than President Trump. He's also a man that speaks clearly.
Okay.
Clearly and unambiguously, and makes clear his views on issues. The first he's made clear is, and as you've pointed out, and the hostages need to come home, they need to be released, and you work in very close coordination with him. He's working in very close coordination, but with the Prime Minister and his government, in ensuring that happens. That must happen. It's not optional. And would add that that's a goal we share in common, and that is something we work on very closely together. The president's also been very bold about his view of what the future for Gaza should be. Not the same tired ideas of the past, but something that's bold and something that frankly took courage and vision in order to outline. And it may have shocked and surprised many, but what cannot continue is the same cycle where we repeat over and over again and wind up in the exact same place. Related to that, the president's been very clear. Hamas cannot continue as a military or government force. And frankly, as long as it stands as a force that can govern, or as a force that can administer, or as a force that can threaten by use of violence, peace becomes impossible. They must be eliminated. They must be eradicated. On the broader issues that we discussed as well is the questions in Syria. And while the fall of Assad is certainly promising and important, if Syria replacing one destabilizing force for another is not a positive development. And that is something that we will watch very carefully as we seek to craft our own strategy with regards to how to approach the events in Syria. In the case of Lebanon, our goals are aligned and the same. A strong Lebanese state that can take on and disarm Hezbollah. The common theme in all of these challenges is Iran. It is the single greatest source of instability in the region. Behind every terrorist group, behind every act of violence, behind every destabilizing activity, behind everything that threatens peace and stability for the millions of people who call this region home, is Iran. And by Iran, I mean the Ayatollahs. By Iran, I mean its regime. A regime who, by the way, its people don't support. The people of Iran are victims of that regime. And so I think it's important to constantly point that whether we talk about Hamas, or we talk about Hezbollah, or we talk about violence in the West Bank, or we talk about destabilization in Syria, or we talk about any of these issues, the militias in Iraq, they all have behind them one common theme: Iran. And that must be addressed. And there can never be a nuclear Iran. A nuclear Iran that could then hold itself immune from pressure and from action. That can never happen. The president's been clear about that as well. And so I close where I began by reiterating our strong support for our allies, very close allies and partners here in Israel, to the people of this great country, for whom we have tremendous love and respect for everything you're facing, have faced, and continue to face. It is an extraordinary story of bravery. A nation founded in the ashes and in the aftermath of a horrifying crime against humanity, stood from its very inception, from the very day of its birth, against threats from every angle and every corner, and has served as an example to the world of a pluralistic society, a free enterprise democracy, and one that if there were more Israels in the Middle East, more countries like that, the world would be a safer and a better place. And this is what we hope for the region and for our planet. A nation that's always sought peace, but will not allow itself to be intimidated or destroyed by its enemies. And on that front, you can always count on us, as long as I'm in this position and President Trump is in the White House. So thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Hey, how you doing? Justin Sandico here. Have you always wanted to play guitar? Well,
We've all heard what the Secretary of State of the United States has said. They want to eliminate Hamas, and Iran would never had nuclear weapon. So we can all figure out what is going to happen next. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has said all the hostages should be home. They will not rest until they are all back home. So okay, welcome. I can't read the, it's not in English, so I can't read, but also I welcome you for watching the live show, and you can make comments, and may God bless you. And ask question, and if I'm able to answer it right now, I will. But if I'm not able to answer it right now, I will post it in my comment section next. When you visit, you will see your answer. So let's be fair on Israel. Israel is giving over hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, and they're only receiving 3 people. How is that fair? That is not fair. That's not a fair exchange. So who are these people? All these people who they are releasing, they have once committed crime. Hello. Yes, your Black Panther. Yeah. Hello, how are you? Can you write your name properly for me in English, and also which country you're from? Right. Thank you for watching. So, well, I am against war. I don't really like war. I remembered when I first arrived in the United Kingdom, because I'm from Africa, and when they were celebrating all these war celebration and things like that, I used to say to my husband, why these people, why do they like war? Why? But now I fully understand why war is going on in the world. Sometimes innocent people get caught up, get trapped in this war. Oh, hello. Hi from Russia. Hello, Russia people, Russians. I'm supporting you all. Okay. So now we see all this war going on. A lot of innocent. I just feel that all these things are political. It is political, and the people who are the decision makers, they are not suffering. Their families are not suffering. It's only the innocent people are suffering. That is why we should do away with all this war, and let's make peace, because it is very important for peace. And without peace, HG to Y. Okay. Y for what? Originally, I came from West Africa, Sierra Leone. West Africa, and I'm now in the UK, settled for over 40 years. So that's me. Okay, so with all this war going on, I looked at it, it's all about politics. We have to learn to live in peace. So why? Oh, hi, India. How are you? I love you all. I love the Indian people. I've got friends who are Indians. Hi. So, X-Man, welcome to the show. Okay. So, that's the reason why I am supportive of Israel. No other reason. It's not religious, but for humanity situation, for humanity's sake. HG2 said, I was wondering why you said we have war, of which you explained. I understand. We, the people, need to make our voices heard. Of course, we need to make our voices heard, but not in an aggressive way, and by speaking out and let our leaders know that we do not like war. We don't want war, because especially women and children, they are the innocent ones. Men go to war, although women are now going to war. But when it comes to the attack, mainly it's the weaker ones that suffer. Now, when we look at Gaza, the Palestinians, the Hamas, they actually hide behind. I mean, I would appreciate if they could wear uniform and go to the forefront and fight real war. Then their people will be safer. Look at all these innocent people. My body cringe when I hear about the death toll of young children, women. It's very sad. It's very sad, and it's not nice to be sleeping in your home and you just meet your fate like that. India neither supported war nor invaded any country. Yes, yeah, till date. Yes, I am aware of that. I'm aware of that. That India is not in supportive of the war going on. This war, actually, many people want peace, and I mean, I am sort of supportive of India because my former manager was an Indian woman. She's so lovely. She's called Viu. She's so lovely and kind. And so it made me understand. I used to have a friend as well who is from India, and she used to invite me to her home. Myself and my husband would go, we would spend time with them. They would come and spend time with us. And when her children were getting married, they invited us. So you see, it's not when you are in peace with people, you just enjoy the life. And we only have one life to live. So why keep fighting all the time? You know? So it is good, we try to see as best as we can. But to be honest, what do you think? I mean, if there is no war, I believe that many life would be lived healthily, as I would say, healthily, if there is no war, because with the war it restricted so many things like our food and other things that we use, transportation and things like that, because it's all linked. And therefore, if if we can do without war for good period of time, it will be great. It will be great. You know, I mean, I don't like war. And I said to myself, I mean, why are people going to war? Why are people fighting? Why can't we live in peace? But when you look at it, if you look deep down underneath, it's all got to do with politics. It's a political thing. And there are many people of the leaders who like war. They like war. I don't know for what reason. If the war brings them money, well, that's it. But there are other people who, without, if they don't have war, they still prosper. They still prosper. And well, before, well, in the olden days, when these people go to war, they seize land from the country they went to fight with. They seize their land, they take over their land and occupy it. And so we know that this has been the situation from time immemorial, because I remembered when the British went to my country in Africa, in Sierra Leone, and they created war and they seized the land of the people, and they burned their farms and everything. And if you know, it was horrible what they were doing. So we can see that they prosper when they do this war. The when they go for this war, it's for political reason, because they want to possess the weaker land. Oh, thank you, X-Man. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, there are lots of people who are suffering under all the various wars that are going on. And instead of many people are on the side of peace, they are on the side of war. And I do not understand. I can't figure out why people would support war for any reason. Any reason. I mean, I have no intention of saying going to demonstrate for any war cause or anything. All we can do, if we can write to our ministers or our lawmakers, and for them to find a way of discussing the issue instead of inciting the issue, because the more you demonstrate, the more you protest, the more the people are getting angry and they continue with the war. So it doesn't bring any it doesn't bring any result, any better result, any good result. No, instead it does make people's heart hardened, and it's a very sad thing, which I don't believe we should live under that type of condition. No person should live under those type of critical condition where war all the time. Even you walk in the street, you don't know what will happen with you next, because this war, when one war starts, it doesn't stay there. It does just spread, because we are all one people. Because if we are all one people, you have relatives there, you have relatives there, you have relatives there. When you hear that your relative has been attacked, you get angry and you want to retaliate in some or form or some way. So this is the reason why war is a very bad thing. It's not a good thing at all. So we just need peace. So now I come back to my Israel and United States situation. When President Trump gave an ultimatum that he wants all the hostages to be released by Saturday, but it did say it's not up to him. If it's up to him, all hell will break loose. It's up to the Israeli prime minister what he does, and the prime minister decides to go ahead with the deal that was made. And so there and then President Trump don't have any say in it. He can't do anything because he did say if it's up to him, the deal is off the table because they've broken the list by not releasing all the hostages. Well, why would all these hostages be held when they have done nothing wrong? They are not soldiers. They were not fighting. These people went into their homes and captured them. And I wouldn't like anyone to come into my home and capture me. I mean, so far as I'm concerned, all my children have moved. They're all in their own homes. To get a news to say, oh, they've captured my children and they are in captivity, I won't feel well. I won't feel good. I would always feel, oh, something serious will happen to the X-Man. So your manager have told you many things about India. Well, not exactly. I used to have another friend, not my manager. We actually have official meetings and things like that. But when her daughter was getting married, she invited me to the wedding and things like that. But regarding about India, I had one other friend. I had many Indian friends. She's called Nimala. And Nimala said, oh, I will take you next time when we go to India. And because she's a Hindu woman. When I go to India, I would take you with me. And I said, but I never wanted to travel that far, really. My traveling had only been to as far as America and Europe and West Africa. So those are the places that I have so far as I've been. But many times when I meet with my Indian friends, we just socialize normally. We don't actually discuss a lot because we all know we are all well read about the various countries and their situations and things like that. So not exactly knowing everything about India, but as I will have knowledge in foreign countries and things like that, so I know mostly about India. So that's how I know about India. But we don't normally discuss each other's countries because it's not nice. Because there are things that we might not be agreeable with. I will not agree with what they should come out. So we just avoid talking about our various countries that we came from. We just talk social issues, what's going on in our various lives. I hope this answers your question. Yeah. So now the clip that I showed earlier on regarding the U.S. Foreign Secretary visiting Israel is the next plan, because as the Foreign Secretary was saying, it's not off the table regarding releasing all the hostages. It's not off the table yet. So President Trump is still thinking that Hamas should release these people because, I mean, let's say, for example, your relative is being in captivity for how many days? They said 500 days, 500 plus days. I mean, nobody would love to be underground for that long. Well, so far as we are concerned, what we have heard that many of the hostages were not under the tunnel. They were living with some of the Palestinians or the Gazans above, right? So we just hope that something will be done, especially for the babies that went there when they were babies until they become infants. Ah, it's it's a sad thing. It's man. Yes, we are all human first. Of course, we're all human and we should always look after one another and stop the war and just live, amicably. Because you can't live a peaceful life when I won't say I'm not angry when I hear people talk about how they have killed so and so. I feel very upset because you can't give life, but you are taking life. And that's the main thing that upsets me. I've never heard about anyone who made life before, who created life before. No man has made life. Why take something which you cannot make? Because you have nothing to replace it with. So that's the point I'm making. And we actually, in our lives, we create problems for ourselves, because I'm sure I'm not going to talk religion here, but what I'm trying to say is that if you believe in God, because I believe in God, I'm a believer, and I believe that God created all mankind the same. So why should we feel we are more than another person? We are better off more than another person. Why can't we find a go-between to negotiate whatever is happening? Why do you have to go and kill that person because it is unagreeable with your own point of view? Why? Why? Is that necessary? It's not. It's not necessary. Why are you doing that to people? So um, it's a very troubling situation. It's a very troubling situation. So, Exman, you live in India? Oh, okay. So, I'm not quite sure if it was you or HG2 who said they are not supportive of war. So, what do you think about what's going on around the world? About the unsettlement of people who are displaced. Exactly. War is an evil thing, because when you think about how you will hurt another person, or you will maim another person, going to war, you either come back in a body bag, or you come back in loss of limbs, or why that's um I can never understand, because we human being, we are the worst animal to live in, to live in the world, because we keep destroying ourselves. We keep destroying ourselves. War is not a good thing. So that is why I am always against it. And then when I see people who demonstrate regarding this war, because before, I mean, I remembered when the Iraq war was going on, I was so strongly, hugely against it. I was so much against it. And I'm saying to myself, why are these people going to fight a whole country, displace people in their own land? Eh? These people have not come to your country to displace you. You went to their country to fight them. Eh? I was against it because the number of lives that have gone, it's waste of life. Waste of life. You know, that's the reason why, we should always try to seek peace. With peace, there will be say seek peace and there will be no war, you know. And when you look at it, we see how from this war in the Middle East, since this war started, we notice that our food price have gone up, groceries gone up, things are very expensive. So I put it down because there was this how you call them now, or I forgot the name of the Hamas, not Hamas, Iran troop proxy who was actually stopping ships from going through. And most of the ships are cargo ships, and they bring food for us. And also, when the war in Asia and no, Russia and what's it called, the other place now, Ukraine, when it started, we also find shortages of flour, and bread becomes very expensive. Bread that you will get bread for 40p. Now bread has gone up to £1.50. So war brings a lot of hardship, poverty, you know. So it's not only the people um, who are displaced suffering, it's also the innocent who are not part of the war are suffering. Our food are restricted. Now, say groceries, if you used to spend, say, £60 a week, now you spend up to £150 a week for groceries for two people. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So this is what war does, because one country depend on the other, because you cannot produce everything, or even if you can produce everything, you sometimes need to mix things and use different things. I i use i use a lot of stuff that comes from India, because we have lots of Indian shops, and my local shop is owned by an Indian. So we get lots of Indian foods, and I like going to the shop to do my shopping and buy lots of stuff. So when we have this I'll call it now, the ship that were cargo ships that were not going through that canal, they are going round. It costs money, and they have to, excuse me, they have to recoup their cost, and that's why the prices are high. So many people don't understand this, that war brings poverty. And this is why we should always learn to seek peace instead of war. Oh, thank you so much, X-Man, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Thank you for subscribing. I love you. Bye-bye. All right. Right. So, yeah, and my closing session for this topic of Netanyahu and President Trump is, I mean, I don't know, but um, if they can manage to not fight and try to see how they can bring the hostages home, if the Palestinians can actually discuss with Hamas and help to release those few people that are there, I believe that we would have a peaceful solution to this scenario. Right. And I just hope and pray that everybody will be well, because war is a bad thing. It's not good. It's not really good. Okay, another thing I want to discuss before I go, because I did not intend to stay long, and what was it now I want to talk about? Okay, I want to talk about the Gaza, President Trump's stand with Gaza. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, that's okay.
Came in.
It's going to handle
And they're
this Hamas
emaciated.
situation.
It looked
You
like
just all
something
wait and
out of the
see.
1930s. It's
All
an
hell will
absolute
break loose on
disgrace.
Saturday,
And
12.
I think they saw the way the
12
world
midnight.
viewed it.
If you
And
do
they're
not
looking for a
release
reason not
the
to send more
hostages,
because
all
they're
of
war.
them,
You take a look at
President
that. It
Trump
looked like it
said,
was, a
all
concentration
hell
camp, which
will break loose.
essentially it was. It looks like they came out of the
He's
Holocaust.
reissued a new
And
ultimatum.
what a sad thing.
Let's hear it.
One of them was amazing. Donald Trump has just issued an ultimatum to the barbarians of Hamas that the hostages, all of them, must be released by this Saturday at 12 o'clock, or all hell will break loose. And the Israeli military will do what it needs to do, and that is to destroy Hamas. Amazing, our president, who gets it, who understands the animals, the barbarians of Hamas.
Last night, he set a deadline for the release of all remaining hostages in Gaza and warned there will be consequences if they don't.
No, I would say Saturday at 12, we want them all back. I'm speaking for myself. Israel can override it. But from myself, Saturday at 12 o'clock, and if they're not here, all hell is going to break out.
Okay. So give us our people back, or all hell will break loose. So that's President Trump, what he said last week. And he did say Israel can override it. And that's what Israel had done. Israel had override it and continued with the deal. So we just, now let's sit and wait and see how peace will hold on. Okay, this is all for today. I pray and wish you all a very blessed night and a very peaceful week ahead. God bless you. God keep you, and God give you a safe and peaceful rest. I love you. Please, if this is the first time you've come across this channel, do like, share, comment, and subscribe before you go. Thank you.